Right, so let's begin, everyone. Soles of the feet together, lay back on your bolster. Have it so that you have a little bit of free back, a bit of spare back between your bottom and where the bolster begins. So you could slide your arm underneath, for example. And if the head falls back a long way, then take your block and pop it behind the back of your head or anything else you've got. If you don't have any props, it's fine to do this, just lying in the same position, flat on the floor. And relax your fingertips, the palms of your hands. Relax your forearms, your upper arms. Feel how your arms relax from the shoulders. Relax across your chest so your breath can breathe more easily. Feel your breath moving as if its pulse moves from your chest down to your fingertips. And relax the tip of your nose, your cheeks, your eyes. The space between your eyebrows. Relax the weight of your head and your throat. Relax and feel your breath as though your breath is moving through your mind like a gentle breeze. Your mind just feeling the flow, feeling the gentle brush of your breath. Soothing and relaxing your mind. Soothing and relaxing your body. Then on an inhale, bring your knees in together. Pop your feet flat on the floor. Tuck the tailbone long. Pause a moment. And as you come up, you can either turn round to your bolster behind you. You can bring it up in front of you, whichever you choose. And I'd like you to have it across the mat like that, so it's going to be a support underneath us. So starting off with the bolster so that it's just on your lower ribs. And bring your elbows down to the floor in front of you. So you could rest your head in your hands like this. We'll be moving this a bit deeper as we stay a bit longer, but just start off just with your elbows on the floor and your head resting in your hands. Or if that's not comfortable, you can put the block there for your head to rest on and rest your hands on the floor. So either of those two options, giving your head a little support and the bolster supporting you across your lower ribs. So your chest line is just along the top of the bolster, so you're not squashing your chest. Or too much anyway. And relax your belly. Let your back relax towards your belly. Relax down your hips into your thigh bones, through your knees and your lower leg. Relax your ankles and your feet. All your toes relaxed. You can stay like this. You could come onto forearms just so it props you up a little bit higher. If your forearms can't get to the ground when you're on the bolster, you could put your blocks underneath your elbows to give them support, or put your hands in front and just start to straighten your arms a bit more. So as your chest lifts higher, you might feel like your lower back and your belly sink closer toward the bolster or further down toward the ground. So there's a little bit more of a bend in your back. If that feels too high, you come back down to support yourself on the bolster. Feel your arms very slightly pressing downwards so that we don't compress in the neck. Find a comfortable place for your head. If you wanted to, you could let your head go back a little. Continue to keep your legs relaxed. Shoulder blades just slightly going down the back of the rib cage, and almost feeling like the shoulders and the back of your chest are supporting and encouraging an upward lift in the front of your chest. So like the upper chest is leaning over your shoulder blades. Bring your hands onto the bolster, push down onto it so that you can push your hips back, and you can keep your hands on the bolster as you take a little child's pose with your arms in front, forehead touching the ground. If your arms can't straighten that high, then move the bolster and put your hands on the floor instead. So next pose, just push your bolster forwards a bit so you don't quite need that at the moment. You could put your head on it if you wanted to. And when you come down onto your tummy, left arm's going out to the side, palm flat. If you've got any difficulty in your shoulder, bring your arm closer down by your side, otherwise straight out. And then turn onto your left ear and lift your right leg and swing it round behind. And take your right arm, and you can either have your hand on the floor in front of you or bring your right arm round behind you. Your right leg can be straight as it comes round or can be bent. If you can't get your arm or your leg behind you, then just keep them both on the floor in front of you. That might be enough of a stretch for you. So now that you've seen the back version, I'm just going to turn around in case you need to see what the front looks like. If you know what you're doing, then you just stay as you are. You could have your arm and leg in front, or you could bring them round behind for a deeper option. Closing down your eyelids. Just feel your breath exploring the inner passageways of your body. Feel your breath almost like you're following it through your veins, following it from every part, right into your blood flow, right to the cellular walls, even the cells of your skin. So you're feeling your breath right through from your internal organs to the surface of your skin. Feel the wholeness of each breath. Be in the fullness of your experience of it. Feel like your whole being has become the pulse of the breath. Couple more breaths there. As you bring your knee and your hand back around to the floor, turn back onto your tummy. And just let your straight arm bend in a little. So your arms are kind of framing the bolster and forehead resting on the bolster for a moment. Taking the other arm out to the side. This time turning onto your right cheek, so you're looking away from the straight arm. And then placing your left hand on the floor as you push and swing your left leg round behind you. And maybe your left arm to your lower back. Again, you could bend the leg behind, or you can keep it just straight. And that's the front version. Again, I'll just turn around so you can see the back version if you need to. Need to decrease it slightly, turn your body flatter to the floor. Need to increase it more, turn so that you're facing more toward the ceiling. Close your eyes, become the pulse of your breath. Feel your whole body breathe. Feel your mind breathe. Feel your energy pulse. Then there's that releasing pulse with the exhale. Feel the window of opportunity sliding a bit deeper. If that window isn't open, then you just stay as you are. Couple more breaths. As you come back round, you turn toward the floor. Just gently bending in the straight arm. Your arms are framing the bolster. Forehead resting down on it. Relax your shoulders, the spine. And then use your hands on the floor just to carefully push up to hands and knees. Bring the bolster in one roll. Step your right foot forwards with it on the outer edge of the mat. Back knee with extra padding if you need to. And lunge in a way that the bolster supports the top of your back leg. So you might need to move that bolster back a bit, see where it needs to be, so that as you lunge, you've got something to settle down onto. And if you can't get that low down, just pop your block on there as well, so that there's an extra height for you. That's underneath for you to lunge into. I'm going to stay as upright as you can for the time being. Downward drop in the tailbone and an upward lift in your chest. Not holding this too long, just feel the front of your left hip opening. Keeping the bend in your right leg. I'm going to turn this into pigeon pose. So you might, if you were using the block as well, just take that out. But I'm going to suggest that you keep the bolster there. You can come onto your back and do figure 4 as an alternative. So walk your right foot toward the left so that the heel is just touching the edge of your mat. And then bring your hips forward so that that shin bone is kind of just almost in line with the front edge of your bolster. So your right shin more or less in line with the front of your bolster. If you feel that back leg needs some support, you can slide your block underneath, but depends on the size of your bolster. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust it so it feels like it's kind of giving good support both sides. And then when you come down, turn your block on its tallest setting. Lower down, resting your head on the block. So you could do this without the bolster underneath, and you could do it without the block for your head. Make sure you're feeling it more in your thigh and hip, not the knee. And this is your alternative. You can keep the bolster there for your alternative, putting the left foot on the bolster and crossing your right ankle over. And if you needed to make that a little bit deeper, you could put the block underneath the left foot as well. So you've got the left foot a bit higher, right knee out wide. So go with what works for you. You are using the block for your head, you might find over time you can reduce its height. Try and soften all those places we softened at the beginning. Your fingertips, palms of your hands, your arms and chest. Tip of your nose and your cheeks, your forehead and scalp. Your spine, your hips. Relax both thighs. Both lower legs. And the soles of both feet. You're going to come back to the lunge. So if you come back onto straight arms, and tuck your back toes under as you push down into the bolster and release your right leg back. Just take a little bit of a downward dog there, so straighten your legs up. Your right knee comes down to the floor. Step your left foot forwards onto the outside edge of the mat for the lunge. Lunge forwards, you're either just letting your hips sink down onto your bolster or making it higher by putting some cushions on there or a block. Remember, your block can be different heights. The back foot can be relaxed. I tuck my toes because my knee is loose. Get more into that front hip by lowering down into the pigeon version or coming into figure 4. Taking your time to use the bolster to help get this front leg a little bit further up without straining at the knee, so that the shin bone is a little bit more in line with the front edge of your mat than you might normally have, because we've got the hips a bit higher. Okay, again, you can feel your way in, work your way down. Feel a deepening in the fold of your left hip and a softening forwards in the front of your right hip. The right hip rolling forwards, and the left hip feels almost like you're not pulling it back, but it has that feeling like if it's moving in a direction, the sit bone is trying to almost draw back slightly. It's going to get you deeper into the hip crease. See if the pulse of your breath can send calming soothing ripples, almost like those ripples are ripples that help you to release your grip. Every ripple felt helps you to let go a little more. I'm going to come up onto straight arm. Under your back pose. Shift your weight back. Release your front leg. Into a downward facing. Do child's pose alternatively. Doesn't have to be your best downward dog ever. Just the yin style one. Quite easy, relaxed. No big ambitions. Just looking for an evenness in left and right sides. Come back down to a child's pose if you weren't there already. You might just roll the bolster away one more time, so your hands on the bolster as you sink your forehead to the floor. And your bolster could just stay there as you lie down on your back with your legs over the bolster. Your hands might have made two nice little dents where your legs can sink into. Even though we're having a short shavasana in these 30-minute yin sessions, a relatively short shavasana, make it feel like you've made it as warm and comfortable as you'd want to be if you were staying here for an hour. So no skipping of any corners or any detail, so that you can really feel you're in a nourished space. And each breath carries that nourishing power. Feel like there's some real good healing going on here, just in the spot. Then stay as long as you have, if you want. Otherwise, pushing the bolster away, turning to your side. Just gently make our way up the sitting. If you're finishing there, bring your palms together. Bowing down to your own life, force of light within. Bowing in a namaste, out to the light within. And then an outer namaste, out to the light within, all those around me.